this little movie to show you how to look up materials that are cited on this website. As I know there's not very many proper links on here. Part of my intention in making you go and look the things up and download them yourself is you never really know what you're going to find when you go into a journal. You can often be looking for something and by serendipity find something incredibly useful that you didn't even imagine was there. And I think that this is a really important research skill. Now, if we go into the lectures section of the website, wait for it to build up, you can follow the link into here. And you'll see that the lectures are broken up into different thematic sections. If we, for example, go into the second section, which is Joel's part of the subject, we can see that, I better turn the edit mode off because this is how you would see it. We can see here the table of contents, the lectures and the dates. And you can have a look at the individual lectures. You'll notice in the first one of Joel's, he's handing out a short piece during the lecture. Let's have a look at lecture 3 now, Criminal Lunacy in Early Modern England. And what we find here is quite a few recommended readings. Now, the expectation is that you won't do all of these unless you're really incredibly keen. At the same time, if you do read a lot, the more you read the better you'll do. You'll see here that there's one piece that you can download, and if you click on this link it will download as a PDF file. But the others I've said can all be looked up as eJournals. So what do we do to look them up as eJournals? Well, we'll see here that Delusion in the Courtroom is from Medical History 35.1. How do we find that? Well, the first thing we do is go to the library catalogue and wait for the page to boot up. Just scroll down, and here you'll see a link to the A to Z eJournals and databases. Now you get two different things you can look up here. One are databases and the other are eJournal titles. Now if we go into the eJournal titles and just type medical history, now you can see that we can either do a search on contains or exact or starts with. I just go for contains, and we see a list of journals that meet that criteria, and this is the link that we want. We click on the link, and we can see the different databases that you can get this from. At the moment I'm using Cambridge here. It's just moved over to Cambridge for a number of reasons that I'm not going to go into here, but are quite relevant to the subject. The Wellcome Trust used to publish it and they've shifted their funding. Let's wait to see if this boots up nicely. Chug, 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 chug. And here we are. Now then, we go and look for volume 35. Issue number 1. And there we have Joel's piece there, and we just need to click on the link to view the PDF, and depending upon how PDFs are rendered in your browser, it will either download directly or in my case it will actually download to the screen. That's something to do with having Acrobat Pro. Here we go, chug chug chug. You don't really need to see this, although all you need to know is that it will actually boot up. So I'll just get out of that screen now. Annoying messages, Oh, that's not rendered very nicely. But let's not worry about it. That's how you do it. Now, in the case of eBooks, let's go back to our original screen. Let's move that around. I'm sure I can get rid of that. Just go back to the LMS. You'll see, now I'll have to try and find an instance of this, that in some places we've referenced you to go and look for eBooks. Now, I think there are some instances of this in Mike Salzberg's lectures. Very interesting painting that we'll be exploring later. Pinel unshackling the insane women at Salpêtrière. Now, here we see an example of a reference to an ebook, a piece by David Healy in Wallace and Gatch's History of Psychiatry and Medical Psychology. And thanks to the deal that the library have tied up with with Springer, we're able to get the full contents of that book for download. So let's go back to the library website, and let me see. This time we want to go into catalogue, eBooks. There are very many different ways of doing this, and if I type in history of psychiatry, search, chug chug chug, never perform with children and computers, and I'm working off a wireless link here, so that might be a bit tricky. And you can see a range of things spring out. History of psychiatry and medical psychology. Geez, if you're interested in Minds and Madness, this is the deal. And you'll see once you get into the screen, you can connect to the ebook. And after a little bit of thinking about it, not that computers think, or is that a controversial thing to say? I don't know. You can see the screen card, Spinning Wheel of Death. Ooh. Have a look down here, and down the list we will find David Healy's piece. There we go, the intersection of psychopharmacology and psychiatry in the second half of the 20th century. Now, apparently you can download the whole book, at least that's what it says. I've tried to do this, but it's a bit tricky. So you're best to download the chapters as you actually want them and need them. But what a fantastic resource. The world has just got so much better in terms of these things. You guys are lucky to be studying now because of the amount of resources that are available. So I'll end this little section on how to find materials now. And I'll have to edit it down, I think, because as you can see, that's 280 megabytes. I'll have to figure out a way of reducing that. Bye for now, and I'll probably make a few more of these.